When your name is Cameron Beaubier, that's capital B-E-A-U-B-I-E-R, currently you're dominating the AMA Pro Daytona SportBike 2013 Championship with 4 times the wins of your nearest competitor. Life is good. But just behind the man who has that single win, Jake Gagne, that's capital G-A-G-N-E, rides a group of young Turks, marshaling the experience to mount a challenge to the current world order. Led by JDB, that's capital B-E-A-C-H, who had a 5th and 3rd place finish for round 3 at Barber Motorsports Park. This trio of troublemakers includes Dane Westby, that's capital W-E-S-T-B-Y, and Jake Lewis, that's capital L-E-W-I-S. Each member of this outlaw gang has a collection of wins and championships, and neither is the least bit content to leave things as they are. All in all, they represent a group of riders who are clearly sporting an attitude, and that, for Mr. Beaubier, may, my friends, spell trouble with a capital T-R-O-U-B-L-E.
From the very first session of the weekend, you have to be on top of your game.
It's all in the talent, and we're all pretty close.
The class is just bar banging, the bearings are hitting.
I'm living for this corner right here. I know we're going to be fairing to elbow right here.
If they leave a door like half an inch even into the corner, you have to take it.
I want to race with these guys and take it home.
My goal is just to get past this bar banging group and get up there and race with Cameron.
There are 4 abreast, look at this!
Even if it takes a little bit of contact.
Definitely got a big smile the whole time, but there's a bigger smile when you're out in the front.
At the end of the day, when we have some great battles like that, it's kind of hard to beat that. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else.
Welcome to our continuing coverage on CBS Sports Network of the 2013 Geico Motorcycle AMA Pro Road Racing Series, today featuring round 4 of this year's championship chases. Today we start this weekend's program with both Superbike and Daytona SportBike racing, starting with SportBike presented by Geico, and we'll be right back here tomorrow for more of the same. If you like motorcycle road racing, this is the place to be. Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan Green, and as we've seen already, the GoPro Daytona SportBike boys are far, if anything, from bashful about mixing it up on track. But it has to be said, they're tired, sick and tired of the carpet bombing that Cameron Beaubier has been doing to them most of the season long. Isn't that right, Scott?
It is right, and a 1.5 second gap to the leader. James, have you guys gone back to the drawing board and found some more time in this motorcycle?
Yeah, we're doing a kind of a drastic change here, and you know, we're kind of sick of sitting back here in the 6th, 7th place finishing these races. So we're, you know, we went back to the drawing board today after qualifying, even though we qualified 5th. And we're just going to go and we changed a bunch of geometry stuff again, and we're going to go into it and we're going to make the gamble. And, you know, we figure what's going to happen. So we're here. We're going to try to fight for a good result here today and just keep things rolling on.
Thank you very much. Good luck to the 43, and over to you, Danielle.
One guy that could give the number 6 a run for his money here today, the number 5 of Dane Westby. Dane, you're just coming off of some injuries from Daytona. You had a rough start this morning with a get-off. Are you feeling any of those injuries coming back to you here today?
No, fortunately it was a pretty easy get-off. Just, you know, conflict of machines there. But everything's good. Our ideal lap time there in qualifying was almost as fast as Cameron's, so we're feeling pretty good for the race. Going to get a good start from the outside of the 2nd row here, which I feel is the best place we could be unless we're on the front row.
Jonathan?
Thanks, guys. Yes, plenty to come from Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And look at the previous winners, Danny Eslick, 4, but of course he's now in Superbikes. Dane Westby's got 2 already, so look out for him. We'll take a short break right here on CBS Sports Network. We'll be right back.
AMA Pro Daytona SportBike on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. And by the all-new Bolt from Star Motorcycles.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio. We are moments away from the start of the Daytona SportBike race. And as the championship stands right now, Cameron Beaubier has 153. Jake Gagne's 29 points behind him. JD Beach is the man on the move, up to third place, 61 points. And as you can see, Jake Lewis, Dane Westby, 6th and 7th, but trying to move forward. Jason DeSalvo, another man who's had some good runs at Barber last time out, in 8th position at the moment. So everyone ready. Now, good story, Elena Myers chose her race number 21, after her hero, Troy Bayliss, one of the toughest men ever to ride a motorcycle. Well, she's doing exactly what you'd expect from her, because she's riding with a broken collarbone.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that I had a little get off at Barber. Was pushing really hard in qualifying and just made a stupid little mistake, and it cost me pretty big. I broke my collarbone, and a few days later I got it plated with 5 screws, and that was 16 days ago today, and I'm ready to race here at Mid-Ohio. When my adrenaline's going and I'm riding, I'm focusing on the next turn. I'm not worried about what this is doing. I'm just focused on the task at hand, and I didn't even, I mean, I noticed it, but it hurt more when I got off the bike versus being on it. So, like I said, I think it'll be all right, so we'll just see what we can do. And I think, I don't know, I'm just ready to ride. It's been 2 weeks since the last race, 3 weeks maybe, I guess it's 3 weeks this weekend, but just.
Elena Myers then just might be the next Moto champion. Good luck, Elena, and yes, she's going to need it today. It's going to be a tough day out for the 21, and she's not happy with her starting position of 16th, and she can't be consoled about it. She is a real competitor. Scott, as we look down on the grid, what are we watching out for here?
Well, you want to watch for Cameron Beaubier, and beating on Beaubier is going to be key here. I mean, if he gets out front, as he has in the past, it makes it tough for the rest of the competition. Obviously, keeping the rubber side down on a slick racetrack like we have here at Mid-Ohio, that's going to be key for these riders as well. And speaking of key, the keyhole, which is the corner you see here on the screen, I mean, that's a really important corner. Getting a long drive, getting a good drive down that long straightaway could be key to winning the race on the last lap.
Well, as we head out on the warm-up lap, we get to see the circuit. But, Scott, this is really a roller coaster ride. It's right through the rolling hills of Mid-Ohio, and it's tricky for these riders, isn't it, this one?
It is tricky, and it's so important for them to be almost perfect on every lap. And it's a track that will not pay dividends if you make a mistake.
Here's row 1 then, Cameron Beaubier again in pole, Jake Gagne right behind him. Look at Brisbola, we spoke to him, he's on the 2nd row. So too Jake Lewis, JD Beach, Dane Westby. They're lining up quite literally on that row 2. And row 3, Bobby Fong, Joe Pascarella on that Triumph. I'm expecting more from him. From Benny Solis. Of course, the AMA Pro Daytona SportBike brought to you by Yamaha. Race just about to get underway. There's Elena Myers on the Triumph, 132.2. Let's see if she can come forward. Lisa Parrish also racing, wife, of course, of the current champion, Josh Hayes. So then, Scott, as we look down on this track, tell me more about this Mid-Ohio circuit and how to race it.
Like you talk about, it's such one of the most challenging racetracks, and when they start the session here, it's very slick in the morning, so it takes time for this racetrack to come in. It undulates its way through these rolling hills in Ohio, and it's super challenging and a real fun racetrack to ride. I think it's one of the favorites with some of the riders, and it really can make for some good racing here today.
So then, we are set fair. And it has been, well, the story's quite simple, and it's the same as SuperBike. Everybody's chasing one man. And in this case, it's Cameron Beaubier. He has been quite outstanding, but I just want to put a caveat to that, though. And here's the temperature, 80 degrees and humidity of 56%. Scott, does it mean too much in terms of the weather and the humidity?
No, I think we're perfect right now. I think the track temp's up where it needs to be, and that's critical here. As I say, in the morning, it can be a little dodgy. I think what we got now is just perfect racing conditions.
What I was going to say about Cameron Beaubier is don't forget, this is a kid, maybe, but he's already been a teammate to the great Marc Marquez, who's coming through in MotoGP. Let's go down to the grid and see what Danielle tells Scott.
There are a couple of guys behind the number 6 of Cameron Beaubier who may be a bit of trouble for him today, but he did break the track record again, and these guys are going to have a lot to do to catch this man on pole.
Well, you're watching history here in this young man, Cameron Beaubier, because while the others are talking about chasing him, he's just setting the records alight. He's done it all weekend long, and he's about to do it again here if we're about to go racing. There's a slight pause, though, Scott. We got a problem.
Yeah, there's a rider who can't get his bike fired up, or his bike died on the grid there, so they're going to push him off to the side, maybe try to get that thing refired. I'm not sure who that is right there. But yeah.
Here we go then. Slight pause, and that might just set the jitters alight. Everybody looking back, JD Beach looking. They might just have to get somebody off the back row, but as soon as they've done, and of course Twitter. Come and join us on Twitter. Let's get into the conversation about AMA. There's lots to say, Scott.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot to say here. And, got people chiming in, so it's nice.
Here we go then. Let's chime in on the first race. Away they go. Down to that first left-hander. Good start from Beaubier. Gerloff's got away well, and so too Jason DeSalvo.
There's my man Rispoli. I just got through talking to him and made some changes. He's the one that leads him into turn 1 for the first time.
Down to the keyhole. This is key. Rispoli getting the lead. Boy, he said he's going to turn around the motorcycle, but he's turned it right round. He's leading the way, and this is great from the kid from New York.
Well, the wholesale changes that they've made, you know, sometimes you have to do that. When you're 1.5 off the lead, you really got to throw something at it. And at 43, let's see if what they've done will stick.
Right, down the back straight for the first time. This is where you kind of get a little bit of speed up as much as you can, but there really isn't a straight here, Scott.
No, it's not a straight. It's got that kink in it, but it's downhill, and it's super fast. And when you get to this braking zone, as you see right here, this is where a lot of action is going to happen.
Jake Gagne going good.
Well, he knows he's got an opportunity. He doesn't see the 6 in front of him right now. He said, if I can get up front, this is a racetrack that's pretty difficult to pass on, so if he can make something out of this right now, maybe that 6 won't be out front as quickly. Let's see.
Great start also from Jason DeSalvo on the number 40 Triumph. Showed well at Barber, and again here at these tricky tracks where it's not all about horsepower, then you've got a chance Triumph can be at the front, and that's where they are right now in 3rd position. Here's another look at the start.
That's right. You take a look at the 43 down here on the inside right here. It's a great jump, and that's key in this series right here because you can't get off the line. And the 40 of Jason DeSalvo, another good start for him as well, and the 43's got the preferred line on the inside, leads them out.
Excellent start then by this man, James Rispoli. And he's got the tattoo that says it. We saw earlier in the season, he is a determined fellow, for sure. Look at him slide that motorcycle. That is pure skill, Scott. That reminds me of you in your day.
Well, we were standing down there early in the weekend, weren't we? And that's a tricky turn right there. You can't really see the apex. You're going under a bridge, so the bike's kind of sliding around the whole time. And he backs it in there. He's a dirt tracker, and you're going to see a lot more of that as we go along.
Spoke to Jake Gagne over the weekend, and he really was, like the rest of them, scratching his head as to what to do about Beaubier. But where is Beaubier? Well, he's down in 6th position at the moment. So for now, anyway, they've sorted the problem out. So Gagne will be on the move.
Well, you know, qualifying's quite a bit different than the race. And right now, we've got a race going on right now, and you can see the 6 in the background. He's kind of coming around. He's in the 5th spot.
Whoa, he had to pull it out there. He almost lost it. That was a risky move into 5, but he's held on to it, and up over the hill he goes and into the lead for the first time. Crowd loving that.
He had to get done with it. I mean, he has been the 2nd fastest rider all season pretty much in this class.
How did he hold on to this?
He just swings out around him, gets a great slingshot, and out-braking it, and backs the thing in. And right there, you see a little bit of a kick from the front end. That's where the bike comes back in line. So, but he was able to do a nice job of saving that. That's just how good these guys are.
And look at the body language of Gagne. He is head down and bum up, as they say in the UK. And look at him go. He's trying to pull away. He knows that this is his chance, and they haven't had many to have a pop at Beaubier, who's still down in 6th place behind Gerloff and behind Beach at the moment as we watch this battle at the front.
Well, one of the only teams that's been able to do some testing since the last round and be the team that you're watching right now, Jake Gagne and JD Beach. There he is on the 95 running in 3rd. They went to Colorado where they're based out of and did a little testing. They believe they found something in these motorcycles, and it's showing right now.
Let's head down to Danielle Thiel.
The number 43 of James Rispoli has been fighting to get a good result at a race. What did you guys do? How did he manage to pull off that whole shot?
Well, he's already good at starts without the bike's help, but we made a big change going into this race, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if we got the speed that we need for the duration, but it's a big gamble we took, so we'll see what happens.
Starting to hot up, though, very nicely indeed. And just looking at the times, both Beaubier and Westby, the only men in the 129s at the moment. They're faster than this pack leading away at the moment. So they're going to be right with this group. We have a doozy on our hands. We said it was roller coaster. Well, enjoy the ride.
Well, this track, typically I'll talk to some of the riders, it takes the tires 2 or 3 laps to really get to where they're optimum working. And then some of the riders have chose to...
Just saw somebody going off there, but I think he's okay.
Some of the riders chose to scuff a tire. like we did. Jason DeSalvo is one of those guys, and now we're here in lap 3, going on lap 4. This is where the tires are really going to be at their best.
JD Beach in this group, of course, and I really do look to him, of those trying to chase Beaubier, as being probably the most likely, because he's been the most successful so far.
Well, there's the number 5. Watch out for the Wolverine. That's his spot. Last year, he was passing everybody in that turn 14 right there. So can he do it again? But JD Beach is an awesome rider, and he's, like I said, they were able to go test. They found something on these motorcycles, and now look at them running 1 and 2. I'm waiting for JD to get his win out here today, possibly.
Just over a second between the top 6 as we take a look at number 95, JD Beach. Let's head down once again to Danielle.
JD has been looking consistently strong at every race weekend. Scott Jensen, what are you guys doing that's making your boys so consistently fast?
Well, I got to say, it's a lot of the boys themselves. We've got very, very talented riders all the way across the board on the team this year. You got to give it up to them. I mean, they're up front all the time, no matter what we put underneath them. So we're just doing our best to keep them on the track.
I thought it was because he said he'd grow his sideburns until he won, and they're going good.
Yeah, well, Scott's the engine builder on this team, and done a great job. I mean, like I said, this is a new team, and they're really starting to gel, and they got great riders, as he said, and they're showing it out here today at Mid-Ohio.
I got a news flash for you. Here comes Beaubier. He's coming up fast. Look at him already. Those laps I was talking about has put him right in the hunt already. There he is in 4th position.
Well, let's see where he picks a spot on JD Beach. He's able to run him down pretty quickly there. He got around Rispoli and rode right up on the back wheel of the 95. Thunder Valley is where they're at right now. This will be turn 13, 14, and 15 leading onto the front straightaway. A tricky little section in its own. Over the hill right here, the bike gets light and it flattens out, and it's a slippery turn. The whole track's kind of got a weird feel to it. They flick it left and come on the front straightaway.
Well, one of the problems we had over the weekend was that right through Wednesday and Thursday, heavy rain here in Mid-Ohio, which really does make the track tricky. And for the first session, they were, 8-9 seconds off the usual pace before the rubber got down. We started getting into some time. So really, we almost lost a session here.
That's right. And this happened in the last couple of years since they've done some changes to the racetrack. And but anyway, nevertheless, we've got a good racetrack now. The times are coming down. There's Westby up the inside.
Whoa, that's close racing. DeSalvo on the inside. And those are the 3 bad guys we've been talking about all weekend long. Rispoli, DeSalvo in the midst of it. And of course, Dane Westby.
Well, you talk about DeSalvo here, and they got a little drag race going on down here. There's Beaubier. He's going to jump up. Oh, DeSalvo's out.
That triumph has gone to tragedy.
I was just fixing to touch on how he was so happy with the bike that they don't have to make any changes since the last race. So they've got a good setting in the chassis, but right now it looks like they have other issues.
What a shame, and they've been developing that bike all season long, and that is bitter disappointment because DeSalvo felt like this could be an opportunity here, and he was right in the mix as we go back to the leaders. And Beaubier now into 2nd place.
Have another look at it right here. Coming down, you see DeSalvo in the back there at the 40, throwing his leg out. His race is over.
Back to the leaders. Jake Gagne now under big pressure from Beach and Beaubier. Beaubier, though, getting through on the number 6 on the Yamaha, as you can see, in 2nd place. This is starting to heat up nicely. 6 of the 21 gone here in the sport bike category. The first race of the day. And at the moment, Jake Gagne trying desperately to wrest some points off that man Beaubier. But Beaubier is coming quick, as he always does. Josh Herron watching on and giving us a wave, but it's Gagne who leads at the moment. We'll take a short break right here from Mid-Ohio. We'll be back. It was a fight to the finish here last year in the Daytona SportBike race. 36, and Martin Cardenas was half a lap from victory. When Josh Herron stuffed his Yamaha boldly up the inside. Cardenas, Bobby Fong and Danny Eslick desperately gave chase. Eslick blinked first and rode off track. In a brilliant move though, Fong tucked inside of Cardenas for 2nd. Charged Herron for the lead. In the end, Herron held by at just 400 seconds. And back to the action of 2013, and we have a new leader. No surprise, it's that man Beaubier. Cameron Beaubier, number 6, leads the way, and he's got 2 chasing, and it really is just a 3-way battle for the lead. How did he do it? Well, it was a good move, a clean move, and just exactly what we've come to expect. Watch this.
Well, this is it. The key was the keyhole here in this particular instance. He got a good drive off, and he's going to just get in the draft of the 32. They're going to make their way down the back straightaway, and it's going to be a typical out-braking maneuver, which means basically when you're following a rider, get to a braking zone, he's going to go for the brake lever, and you just leave it a little bit later, and you go to the brake, and then you can make that pass. That's what we call out-braking.
Amazing. This group we're watching is already 4 seconds up the road than the rest, and no wonder the photographers are getting their photographs because they better be quick because these guys mean business. Look at them, top 3. Beaubier then leading, but it's close still. Here's another look at the pass.
Yeah, he just swings out. He got a good run off the top of the hill, got him in the dirt for a minute, not a big deal, but gets down on the inside and just leaves the braking a little bit later, and there's nothing Gagne can do about it, except for now try to hang on to the rear wheel of the 6.
Well, the first thing you said, and typical racer as you are, you said in your mind's eye, Gagne, you've got to fight back now. And he's left it a little too late because now Beaubier's in his rhythm. So Beaubier leads. Let's head down to Danielle Thiel.
Getting very familiar with Oliver Hutchinson, number 6 crew chief. Oliver, is the pressure getting to Cameron at all? He's having to work quite hard so far in this race.
No, there's no pressure. I just don't think he likes to lead the first few laps, so just make sure you get off the line all right. But no, he's not feeling any pressure. I think he just wants to play with him a little bit, you know.
And playing with him, he is.
And I think Oliver Hutchinson's playing with us because I don't believe a word of that. I think he got a bad start and he had to make back good. I don't think anybody plays with anybody in this game. You can't risk it, can you?
Well, no. I mean, but he's confident enough to where he just methodically worked his way through, and it didn't take him very long. He didn't get a great start. But the good thing is for Gagne, he's able to hang with him, and he's learning right now. Where is he faster, and where can I pick up my pace? And J.D. Beach is going to school right now too, but he's making a nice job of staying with him.
Well, amazingly, as the race has progressed, we're now on lap 8 of 21. The times have come down as the race has gone on. We're now in the high 128s, and in fact, only the top 2. This is the battle for 4th place, and it involves Rispoli, Westby, Lewis, Gerloff, and Benny Solis at the back of it. So, good battle this. And, well, who can you call as to who might come forward? We saw Rispoli leading, but now he's got more work on his hand.
Yeah, this battle's running about a second off the pace of this leading group of 3 here that we're watching, so that's its own race in itself, and it's going to be a good one with Westby leading the way over the top. Out of turn 1 as they swoop around and dive into the chicane that they put here. The cars don't use this part of the racetrack. They come straight up the road. They could bypass that and hard braking.
Well, I've been dubbing Mr. Dane Westby as mean spleen because, of course, he broke his spleen at Daytona and then had a crash this morning. So this is brave riding for him because he was being brave on the grid, but I think he's hurt.
Well, we're going to have a little look at what happened in practice. They split a slower rider. Oof. Oh, and he got off in the grass, and that's gnarly. And so that was a worry for Dane. He didn't want to injure that spleen again. He seems to be fine and riding like the Wolverine does out there. Just didn't get the great start that he needed, didn't have a great starting position, and that makes it tough in this class.
You've got to be lying there when you fall off like that, and you've got to be thinking and feeling to yourself, have I done anything else again? And that's a real worry, and it's got to go through his mind. Back with the leaders, though, and look at this. Jake Gagne's got on level terms with Beaubier. We finally got the fight that we wanted. They said they were going to take it to him, and they are. We got 2 distinct groups. This time, it's Lewis leading this group.
Well, you can see Westby and Gerloff fighting right there. Gerloff tried to stick it up the inside on Westby right there as they came around that Armco. Westby fought back. He knows he's got to fight to keep this position right here. Jake Lewis doing a great job leading the 43 of Rispoli. Back on the front straightaway they come.
Front end chatter was a problem for a lot of the riders over practice, and despite having to try and catch up a second and a half on Beaubier, dealing with chatter is not an easy thing to get and dial out, is it?
No, it isn't. And that's one of the worst things that a bike can have as far as setup goes. I mean, because you got a front end chatter, whether it be front or rear, it doesn't matter. It's just an unsettling feeling. You can't get back to the throttle. You can't brake as light, so it just throws your whole program off. And sometimes it's really hard to find out why. But, you know, that's what motorcycle racing is all about. Being able to set your bike up, being able to give the input back to the engineers and let them prep that bike the way it needs to be so you can go out and do your job.
Well, this is such a great battle at the front. Beaubier takes the lead again, and Gagne has to settle for second, but I'm sure he'll battle back. It's 10 of 21. A long way to go yet in this one. And just wants to see if he can stay with him. And this is the crucial part, isn't it? You say, if you get overtaken, you've got to dial back. You've got to pounce back as quickly as you can. Otherwise, you give the guy in front a chance to get into his rhythm and pull away.
Yeah, I mean, some guys are just better leaders than others. You know, some guys need to have that carrot dangling a little bit, and just in this case, In this case, the 6 of Beaubier has been fast all weekend.
There's the gap to Jake Lewis, and I'm actually really impressed with Jake Lewis because he had a really rotten day to start with. His day did not start at all well, Jake Lewis. It's great to see him in this second pack because Jake Lewis started the day, look, walking, and that's never a good sign as a rider, is it?
No, but that Mean Motorsports team, they've really done a great job with these R6s they've got, and they've got Jake really riding well this weekend. I mean, he likes this racetrack. He doesn't live too far away, I guess, up in Kentucky, but he's riding well right now, and the 43 are keeping him honest, and here comes the 5 of Westby, and he's looking to make a move on the 43 soon.
Yeah, Westby and Rispoli, and Westby dives through, sideburns and all. Look at him go. That was an excellent move, and he just, what was that signal telling you?
Don't know. I mean, we haven't been following that
I thought you spoke this language.
Well, I do.
He put his hand in the air. I think he was apologizing.
He may not be happy with Rispoli. Rispoli may have chopped him off somewhere on the track. Don't know. Or maybe he's just happy about it.
It's either one of the two.
Maybe he's just happy that was a great pass.
Yeah, he was waving to the
wow,
crowd.
I did a good job there.
Yeah, he's waving to the crowd. Why not? I like it. There you go. Insight for you. Here's another look. That's exactly it.
And James runs a little bit wide. Some of these riders run a little bit wide off the curve, but he didn't go very wide. And that's all he saw was the front wheel of that Geico Honda up the inside. And Westby here, he's going to give a little fist pump. We missed that, but anyway, he's happy. We're happy, and I don't think Rispoli's happy.
No, I don't think so. And I think it was Rispoli in his way. And now it's also the number 8, Garrett Gerloff, the Texan, on his way through, trying to get past the man who's holding up everybody, having led early on, Rispoli.
Well, it's tough to pass at this racetrack, and where Gerloff was looking to do it, you got to really thread the needle. He's going to swing out, he's going to square this up, do a kind of over-under, try to get a better drive on the first straight. You can see Rispoli's bike spinning the tire a little bit. That's going to help the 8 as he gets to the braking zone, and he makes it happen.
Yeah, Rispoli struggling as they go into turn 1. Just want a quick mention, as we watch this battle for 6, I am so impressed with Elena Myers in 11th position with that broken collarbone.
Doing a great job, and she's a fighter, she's a real racer, and just doing a great job. And it's going to take a minute for her to get back to 100%, but right now, the best way to heal that stuff is to get back on track as soon as you can for a racer's head. That's it.
Watching the battle for 6 and 7. And at the front, though, it continues. But the gap has widened now, and this is a story we've seen way too many times this season. Cameron Beaubier in control, in the cockpit, so to speak, on that Yamaha, and he is flying. A 1:28.5 last time out, just 0.2 quicker than the men behind him. Let's head down to Danielle Teal, see what she's got.
Working very hard to make the number 32 bikes competitive with the number 6, Mike Canfield. Mike, did you guys test some things, change some things? How are you allowing Jake Gagne to run?
We did some testing out at HPR. We pushed really hard to get something better for the guys, and it seems to be paying off. The suspension's working really well. We just want to push the pace up and keep the pressure on.
Scott, how important is testing? Because we heard it there, and it seems to make the difference. That is key, I suppose, between races.
It really is. I mean, especially when you're a new team and you're trying to develop find the right setup for something, and you're having to chase a guy like this. So I got to go back to the drawing board. We got to ride. We got to do a lot of laps. We got to change things. We got to learn about this motorcycle, learn what works for that particular rider, and that's exactly what you've seen here. And he's done a great job of closing that gap. There's Elena Myers.
There is Elena, and she's going strong in those all black leathers. And number 21, like I said, after Troy Bayliss, who was a tough boy, the Australian World Superbike champion, and of course AMA champion as well in his time. But Elena chose the number, and she's riding like her hero Bayliss right now, because it's not easy riding with a broken collarbone.
No, it isn't. She's got Eric Stunt and Kenny Reedman up in front of her right now. She's going to try to get up there. I'm not sure if they passed her or she's reeling them in, one of the two, but they're right there in front of her. And see, she's going to try to do all she can to get by.
She's got a classic style. She's very smooth on the bike, and that's really, really impressive. Let's head down to Danielle Teal. She's smooth.
The number 21 of Elena Myers working very hard to come back after an injury. Richard, how is she feeling out there?
She's feeling good, Danielle. We're happy to have her back. She's a fierce competitor, and I think it'd take a lot to keep her away from racing.
How tough is that girl?
Oh, man, we're lucky to have her. She's tough as nails. She's going to be out there to the very end for sure.
There you go. And that confirms it, the team saying she is. And I tell you, she was one of the first people I met when I got to the weekend, and I said, how are you? She said, what do you mean? And I said, well, you've got a broken collarbone. Oh, that, she said. She said, it's fine. I did 200 laps the other day in testing. So she's been literally getting ready for this race for a long time. So then, the lead continues at the front, but the laps are coming down. Cameron Beaubier and Jake Gagne, though, fighting it out. JD Beach still in third place, and Jake Lewis not far behind. We'll be right back. Let's look back to 2006. Yamaha teammates 32, Eric Bostrom, and the number 2 of Jamie Hacking were clearly the class of super stock race. Back in 2006, Bostrom led for the first 14 laps. Then Hacking powered his Yamaha YZF in the pass for the lead. And that would be his 5th win of the year, and eventually the 2006 championship. Back to today, and it's still close at the front, and Beaubier leads, but not by much at the moment. Gagnier's right there with him, and this is much better from Gagnier, but it needed to be. We've all been waiting for this moment for a real battle. Backmarker's having to get out of the way now.
Well, I tell you what, Jake's done a great job of finding that speed. When Beaubier came by, he was able to latch onto him and go to school a little bit and find a better pace for himself, and he's matching him lap time for lap time. Every time they come by, they're dropping the 95 off the back just that little bit.
Well, in fact, Jake Gagne did a 28.4 last time out, some 3/10 quicker to catch that gap up, and that's why he's right there with Beaubier, looking to the inside, but Beaubier closes the door and brakes later. And he needs to, too. This is going to be an interesting finish to this. 7 to go, and Beaubier leads. That's been the norm all year long. But Gagne putting up a better fight than we've seen.
Well, this section of racetrack right here, we're going through 7A all the way back to 14. This is the real rider section of the racetrack. This is the most difficult, the most technical. Over these hills, they're blind. The suspension unloads, it loads again, but this is where Gagne looks to be the strongest to me. It looks like Beaubier is a little bit quicker in the section time 1, which for turn 1 up to the top of the keyhole.
Well, we'll keep an eye out for it as they come into the last complex now and over the ridge, and it really is a fascinating circuit, this. There's a lot of blind crests, and it's hard to work out exactly where you're going to make your pass. Here we go with Westby again, and the number 8, Garrett Gerloff. Gerloff up the inside of Westby. Whoa!
That was a beautiful move. I saw him lining that up last time we had the camera on these guys, and it didn't stick that time. But he's able to make it stick. The 8 did. On the 5 right there in Westby, where will he fight back?
And, you know, Scott, you really do see the use of the feet here. You were telling us how to ride the bike and using your feet. When you see the flip-flop left right there and that overtake, that was all feet.
That's right. It's all, you're just kind of hovering over the seat at that point. You kind of glide across the top. You want to use your feet and put all the pressure on the foot pegs. That allows you to free up your hands and not upset the motorcycle when you change direction. And this is a super physical racetrack. These guys are really jumping from side to side from that turn 6 to turn 15 area.
Well, Garrett Gerloff been learning his craft at Colin Edwards boot camp, of course, and he put it to good effect here.
Came off 11, got a good run through Thunder Valley, and just swings in, and when he gets to the inside right here, there's nothing Westby can do, because that's the line you have to be on. Pushes him a little bit wide. Westby has to wait a minute to get back to throttle. The pass is made, and Gerloff's off to the races now. He's already gapped him by 4 or 5 bike lengths.
Well, and he's got Lewis in his sights in 4th position, but Lewis is up the road a few seconds as well. So good fight between Gerloff and Westby, but Gerloff's got the better of it, and he does put in a very good lap to try and lead away from Dane Westby as we look at the man, the Wolverine they call him.
Right here, this section right here, over the top of this hill is blind. That's a tricky section, and some of the riders, because you go under a bridge there, are telling me they're still kind of losing the front end, so you got to kind of tiptoe through there, thread the needle. You can't get it wrong, and you got to be fast.
Well, yeah. How good is the Honda? It seems to be improving as the season's gone on.
Well, I think the Honda's pretty much as good as it's going to get. This bike's been around for a while. It runs steel valves in it, not titanium valves, so they're kind of limited on horsepower. Chassis-wise, everybody that rides one, I hear they like the way the bike rides, and they're comfortable with it. Dane was over the moon with the way the bike felt leading into Daytona. Unfortunately, had some issues there and didn't get to show himself. But these Yamahas are just so good that it's going to make life really tough for those guys.
And a look over the shoulder. It's one of the triumphs. And that's Bobby Fong by the looks of things. And he's trying to get a group together by the looks of things. And I don't know why you would look over your shoulder. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. Or take it just with him. Bobby Fong, though, 16th position at the moment for D&D Cycling. On that triumph, we saw one go bang already with Jason DeSalvo. He was further up the road. But let's hope that doesn't happen, of course, to this man Fong.
Yeah, far cry from the ride he had here last year, as we saw on that replay earlier. I mean, he was right there looking for a win. And now Bobby Fong running in the 16th position. So things are not going the way he wanted it.
Meanwhile, Benny Solis is going good in 8th position, and I'm really impressed with him. Spoke to him earlier in the day. And again, another look over the shoulder. What is this all about? Let's have another look at this.
I got to believe there's issues with the bike, and he's probably wondering who else is going to pass me at this point. So right now,
yeah,
you know, I just think that something's not jiving right now, and he just knows that it's coming.
Well, when a rider's looking around like that, there's only one thing it can mean. There's something not right. He's either upset with the rider, which I don't think that's the case, but in this case, I think you're right. I think it's mechanical. Here come the leaders then. Across the line they come, and Scott, you tell me, where would you make your move? I'll put you in 2nd place.
I would make the move down off the back straightaway into the turn 6 if I could. You got to get a good run, but that's where Beaubier has been so good up in the keyhole where we're headed right now to get the good run down. So Gagne's had plenty of time to suss out where he's going to try it, but the key is now is this lap traffic can really play a big part in the way this race comes down.
And you're exactly right, because Gagne is just looking ahead just as Beaubier is, but Beaubier's got to deal with him first. So that gives Gagne the chance of going, okay, you go here, then I'll make my move. And that's the problem. He's looking forward and trying to worry about what's going on behind.
Exactly. You know, sometimes on a racetrack like this, you can use a lap rider as a pick. Very nicely done, but it can backfire on you too, and it can work against you. So we're going to have to wait about 3.5 more laps to see how it's going to play out.
How do the riders know? There's no mirrors on the bikes, of course. I've been asked this question before. Well, the marshals doing their job. Blue flags waving around the circuit will let those back markers know, hey guys, they're coming through, you need to get out of the way.
And it's key, but sometimes on such a busy racetrack like this, the rider's so focused on the racetrack, it's hard to sometimes see those flags waving, and you may be in a 2 or 3 bike battle, and it's difficult. So we just hope that if it happens, that they do see it, move out of the way, and hope they move out of to the right or the left, out of their way.
Jake Gagne, yeah, Jake Gagne doing exactly what he needs to do, which is stay with Cameron Beaubier in the closing stages of this. You're watching CBS Sports Network. More racing from the AMA Pro Daytona SportBike Series after this. Welcome back to CBS Sports Network, AMA Pro Daytona SportBike Racing, race 1 of the weekend at Mid-Ohio, and it's a cracker too. Cameron Beaubier, the championship leader on the number 6 Yamaha, under big pressure from Gagne on the number 32. JD Beach has disappeared. He's 3.6 seconds down, but it's all going on at the front. 0.2 of a second, 0.6. It varies between laps, but it's been close all the way through.
Definitely, right now, look at the gap starting to grow right now. So Beaubier had a little bit in his back pocket. Somebody getting Jake Gagne's way, we don't know, but this is where true champions are made right now. This is how they do it.
Geico Motorcycle AMA Pro Road Racing Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Lexington, Ohio. Buckeye SuperBike Weekend from Mid-Ohio, presented by Geico. We've got great action coming up throughout the weekend. This is just race 1. They'll do it all again, of course, on Sunday. And again, Beaubier will be the target, I'm sure, but he's looking as though he's cracked this now. 3 to go, and he's doing what that monster man is doing, which is putting in some monster laps just at the right time and pulling away. And look, it seems that right now, Gagne's got nothing for him.
Well, you can see him stretching it out right now as they tip into turn 1. The 6 has got it all his way right now. This is what I was talking about. This is what champions are made of. They're good at the end of the race. They keep a little bit in reserve, and when it comes time to pull the pin, and that's exactly what you see the 6 on that blue Graves Yamaha right now has done, and he's broke the back of Jake Gagne from the looks of things.
In Supersport terms, just worldwide, that Yamaha seems to be so impressive. It does it on the world level. It's doing it here in the AMA. And it's funny because it's not everybody's choice, the Yamaha, but boy, when it's out there, it's fast.
Yamaha got it right on that one, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They really did. That bike, they're getting a lot of mileage out of that thing and a lot of race wins. And that Graves crew, that doesn't get any better. I mean, the quality of that race team right there could easily go over to World Superbike and compete at the front. That's how good they are. That's just how organized they are and how well that machine really is.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Chuck Graves. He's been there, done that, got the T-shirt, of course. He raced himself, and now he knows how to manage because he knows what his riders need.
Exactly. So with the help of Yamaha, it's just a great partnership, and I see him winning a lot more races before somebody really gets in there and stops him.
2 laps to go, and it's Cameron once again. Cameron Beaubier at the front. The California kid is surfing his way, and his best lap, a 1:27.9. And Scott Russell sitting here in the booth. You're just looking perplexed, aren't you?
That's a 1/10 of a second quicker than he qualified. So
that's
just think about that. I mean, at the end of the race, with 2 to go, he lays in a time like that.
Well, sit back and enjoy this final lap because we will. Number 32, Jake Gagne doing the business. Let's head down to Danielle Teal.
The number 32 working very hard to hang with the number 6. Mike, it does look like Jake is fading a little bit here towards the end.
Yeah, it's dropping back just a little bit. Maybe it was the traffic slowed him up. I don't know. I'm not watching the feed. But we got a good pace, so I'm happy about it. We'll change some stuff for tomorrow, and away we go. And we're not done yet.
You never know. And a look over the shoulder, Gagne looks to see where his competition lies, and it's gone because JD Beach in 3rd place is some few seconds down the road, but I don't think anyone's going to catch Cameron Beaubier, and it says it on the side of the bike. YES. It stands for something different, but I'll tell you what it does stand for here is yes, 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 because he just keeps on winning.
Well, used turf Mike Canfield talking about, I don't think it was a traffic issue. What it is, it's a lap time issue, and Cameron Beaubier has again lowered the time to a 27.7, which is 3/10 quicker than he qualified, and nobody's ever to up the pace like that. Jake's run a great race, but his lap times have faded, and the leader, Beaubier, are getting faster.
Well, I met an F-16 pilot this weekend with Josh Hayes, good friend of his, but this man is flying solo right now, and he's doing the carpet bombing yet again here in Mid-Ohio.
The kid's so fluid and so one with the bike, and here he comes again.
Here we go then. Beaubier does it in Mid-Ohio. Another victory. Ollie, his crew chief, delighted with that. And here's the other battles going on. More to finish this race off. Gagne takes second. And this is 85 and 80. And here comes the number 50 as well. Close finishes all the way through.
Well, that's Bobby Fong. He was being lapped, and there Jake Lewis did a great job.
Well done to Cameron Beaubier. Yes, another win here in Mid-Ohio. He just keeps on going. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
AMA Pro Daytona SportBike on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Get a free rate quote today. And by the all-new Bolt from Star Motorcycles. AMA Pro Daytona SportBike on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Get a free rate quote today. And by the all-new Bolt from Star Motorcycles.
Welcome back to CBS Sports Network. Here's some of the great moments of that race, and there were plenty. Rispoli got the early lead, but look at this. Number 32, Jake Gagne, underbraking into the right-hander, sideways with the Red Bull boy. Nice stuff. Salvo pulling out on the Triumph. That was a tragedy. Moving forward, then Beaubier. Well, as expected, Beaubier coming through this time on Jake Gagne, and again up the inside at that man's favourite spot. From there on in, then, the battles were between the midfield. Westby fighting it out with Rispoli. Rispoli slower than he should have been. Westby having to get past him as quick as he could. But Beaubier, well, once he was in the lead, it was all one-wheel wheeling. What a performance. Let's head down to Danielle Teal.
Congratulations to the number 6, Cam Beaubier, who broke the track record again. Cam, you had to work through the first 5 laps, and even after that, you had pressure on you from Jake Gagne, but the pressure just seems to make you go faster. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, Jake was on me the whole race. I pushed as hard as I could with a couple laps to go and was able to get in the 27s and make a little gap. So I just really want to thank my Yamaha Extended Service, Monster Energy, Graves Yamaha crew. My bike has been working awesome ever since they pulled it off the truck this weekend, and yeah, I just got to give it up to them. And yeah, thank you.
Well, he's a man of few words, but he doesn't have to say too much. Yep, he is doing the business, Scott. It's really impressive, isn't it?
Definitely.
Here is the result then. Cameron Beaubier, Yamaha 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you tell me how good that Yamaha is. Jake Gagne, JD Beach, Jake Lewis in 4th position. Good result. Garrett Gerloff just behind. Kenny Reedman, good result also. And Elena Myers, really impressed in 12th position. Let's head down to Danielle Teal.
In 2nd place, the number 32, Jake Gagne. Jake, you ran a great pace out there and even able to lead Cameron for a while. You guys did some testing and changed some stuff, and it seems to be paying off.
Yeah, it was a good race. First couple laps, it was just, I know there's some guys behind us that saw my pit board, and then Cameron got in the lead, and I followed him around for a little while, but then we started having some issues, electronic issues halfway through that just kind of killed us. But 2nd place, you know, we'll go home. We learned a lot today, and try to work on the bike for tomorrow. I just got to give it up to the whole Road Race Factory, Red Bull crew, Leo Vinci, GoPro, Mike, Jesse, Danny, everyone, Alpine Stars back home. It's mom and dad at home, grandma, grandpa, love you guys. Thanks.
Evan, a family man. Great words, nice stuff. by the number 2, and he stays in contention. Let's have a look. 35 points the difference. Cameron Beaubier is pulling away, but the others are staying with him, so to speak. But they've got work to do in the second half of the year. JD Beach still in 3rd position. Gary Gerloff just behind. Jake Lewis on 103 points now, behind the leaders in 6th place. Dane Westby also still there in 7th place. So then, this weekend's coverage, and for Scott Russell, Danielle Teal, and our entire team, I'm Jonathan Green. This has been a presentation of Chet Berg's Productions. And for scores, highlights, features, and more, go to cbssports.com, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Congratulations once again to Cameron Beaubier. He really has been big, bad Beaubier at Mid-Ohio. Can he do it again on Sunday? We'll find out.